Hello guys, and welcome to another day with Zimaleta. In today's video I would like to talk about my house, my $13,000 house. So when I bought it, what did I end up doing to it, and roughly how much money did it cost me, and kind of some of the things that you could expect that you're going to be doing to the house. And you could quickly calculate those costs, and I could still recalculate all my costs and stuff like that, like what I end up doing and stuff like that. So I'm going to explain to you guys, like in this video. So anyways guys, let's begin. When I first bought this house, I kind of thought, okay, well, I know a little bit of carpentry. I built a doghouse, here and there, and a shed here and there. So I kind of thought I was qualified. So anyways, I get this house and I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, it needs a lot of stuff. And in my mind, I already fixed this place. Like in my mind, I already see how it's done, and I'm living in it, and I'm having my, the time of my life living in this place. Like, so it seems like, man, I could just tackle it and just do everything, completely be done with it. It's not really, doesn't work that fast in reality. It's just like, works like that in my mind. But guess what? I'm not a contractor. And if you're watching this video, maybe you are, maybe you're not. This video is more like to explain this to somebody that never done it before and try to see like. So here's what I did, guys. I got into this house and I'm like, okay, it's got low ceilings, 7-foot tall ceilings. I want to do vaulted ceilings. Okay, it's got all this drywall. It's bowing on me and stuff like that. I'm thinking, okay, drywall, off you go. And I started just busting holes in the ceiling, just ripping that stuff down. Man, I had that stuff gutted like in a couple days, man. All the drywall from the ceiling, walls. I had piles of drywall in the house. I made a huge mess, and I'm thinking, all right. So pulled all the drywall out, and I'm like, I look at my ceiling, I'm thinking, oh, it's 1x1s. Actually, it's less than 1x1s. So my trusses were like all like pretty much like 1x1s. It's a very cheap construction. And I went to the zoning department and the building department, and I tried to ask them about that. They're like, well, yeah, it's they say manufacturer's home. Yeah, it's up to code. That's how they do it in South Carolina because there's no snow and stuff like that, and that really passes code. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So immediately I looked at it, I'm thinking, okay, I don't like how it looks. It just looks way too weak. And I looked at the roof even more, and some of those things are cracked, and I'm thinking, okay, obviously it can't really handle the pressures if somebody's going to be walking on top of it. It possibly can. I mean, technically, if you think about it, it kind of can, because if you think about it, it's like many horses standing. If you put like a piece of wood and you like walking across, everything is supporting you, like all those horses. So basically kind of like that's how it is. Maybe they're little, but together they're stronger, if that makes any sense. So this is kind of like what it's actually was holding the roof and stuff. But in my mind, I'm thinking that's still too weak. So, so I kind of thought, okay, well, I would like to do this out of like the 2x6s, but it's not going to fit. Like my ceiling's going to be like even smaller. So I thought, okay, so how could I actually improve, like my ceiling stuff and make it a little bit better? So what I decided to do is buy some 2x6s, and like if the roof is like this, run the 2x6s this way at the very top. And what I did is I did an A construction to where I put like 2x4s and 2x4s this way, and the 2x6s are in between. So basically what I did is I created kind of like a support. So the roof is now not only that it's pressing on A's, I also distributed the weight with the 2x6s across all trusses that I rebuilt myself. And actually that took me like a couple days to do, guys. I was able to just get in there and do it because, man, like when I start work, I work like crazy. Like I just do all kinds of stuff, and I feel that I'm unstoppable. I could just do it, But then you start running out of money, and you're like, man, like now it's kind of like your project gets delayed because you're running out of money, your equipment is breaking down, and that's the way it was for me. So now I cannot really go simply and try to just simply work, because now I got to fix all that stuff. So I spent some money on my house and materials, and then I really had like no money left to fix my own Sprinter van. I had to like really decide how to fix it. But I look at everything in a positive way. I was able to get it done, but that took time away from this house. And then when the project gets delayed, everything else gets delayed. Like, and then you like almost like don't want to get back to it because it feels like it's already taken too long. And you know, like it just months are going by so quick, and then you have to go back to work, and months, they're just flying. Before you know it, the year's gone, the second's gone. I mean, this is like the third year now, and I'm thinking, well, I gotta fix it up now. And then there's other plans, there's other ideas, there's other investments that I'm doing. I'm buying vans left and right, I'm buying cars and stuff like that. And you know, don't ask me why, because that's for another video. It's just to me, everything that I buy, I make money on what I buy. Not because I sell it, just because I save when I buy. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but I will explain that in some other videos, how that's actually possible. So that's why I still have actually more money at the end of the day, you know, because I'm able to save like that. But anyways, guys, what did I do again? I ripped off, of course, all the drywall from the walls as well. And then I spent like, first I spent like $1,500 on windows for the first set of windows, and I started installing them, you know, like, and what I would do, guys, is I would also buy 2x4s, and then in order to install a window, like, yeah, like I just simply didn't see how removing that window, just making like a new box would work. So what I did is I knocked down all the 2x4s out, and I exposed the whole wall to the elements, and you've seen that probably like in that one video. And then I just built a whole new wall, and then I just install it, and then I put the windows on that wall. So that's actually the way I started, you know, like installing every single window. A little did I know, I wasn't doing it the right way. In some places I got lucky, and I kind of did it the right way, with, you know, the 2x4, you know, being sideways instead of like, you know, like flat up like this, kind of like as a header. But because this house really never had any headers, it's, you know, that was lost on me. Like I didn't even think about it, you know. So I guess it's important to have headers, and since I'm turning it into a house, it now does have headers, and I'm going to show you that I have actually rebuilt some windows. Yes, I went back and I rebuilt them to have headers, to put that Tyvek stuff on them, and you know, to do it the right way, because at the end of the day, it's important to do it the right way, not a wrong way. So anyways, what else did I end up doing? Well, I got rid of all the drywall out of the house. I actually burnt the stuff. I burnt the drywall. I burnt all the insulation. Yes, I pulled out all the insulation from this house. And that's what I'm talking about. It maybe is a mistake, because I just tackled things too quick. I'm like thinking, all right, I'm doing that, you know, like, and I just really tackled it. Like, and I just started like doing it like crazy. So that's kind of like a little mistake, because what I should have done is said, okay, I'm going to be working in this room. What does this room need right now? Okay, so we need some windows here. Okay, I go and I built those windows up, and I would do what I need to do to the electrical, to the insulation, to the ceiling. But I really wasn't sure, and I kind of thought, well, I've seen those shows where they're like gutting the places, like they get in there and the first thing they do is they gut it. And that's actually what I did. I kind of like followed what they're doing. I'm not saying it's wrong, but keep in mind, I wasn't living here like when I was gutting it. I was actually still a rental till November. I got it like in July, and I was still renting till November. So I would drive here. It took me like an hour of a drive to actually get here. And man, and I would be over here with the sledgehammer, just breaking stuff, just improving stuff. So before moving in here, I have replaced the windows. I have took the floors, the rotted floors. I cut out all the rotted floor out. I made it better. I, you know, replaced the rotted floor pieces that I cut out with good stuff. And then what I did is I actually doubled up another layer of OSB on top of that. And in some places, it's as much as 3 layers of OSB, if that could have been done. But most of it is just like double, and that's it. You know, I left it alone. So what making it like double did, it made the floor like not like, I mean, it made it feel solid. Like that's what it did. Like the floor I walk on now, it's like, it's completely solid. You're feeling like it's a solid floor and stuff like that. So, and then, you know, like, and of course I redid the roof. I made it a vaulted ceiling. And one of the rooms I completely left alone. The one that had just the 2 windows, the one I'm sitting in right now. And we lived here, and, you know, I was, you know, I installed the bathtub and the vanity and the bathroom before we moved in here. I fixed all the plumbing. I fixed the electrical, so everything was working. So like when we moved in here, those things were working. Of course, I ended up buying a bathtub for like $200, a vanity for $200, a toilet for $100, And I installed those things, and guess what, guys? In the video series, you're going to be noticing is I'll be throwing out, well, I'm not going to be physically throwing it. I'm going to replace it and put it somewhere else, maybe like in my garage. But I'm going to be getting rid of the vanity that I currently use, the $200 vanity, and that's actually clearance price. And I'm going to be getting rid of the bathtub that I got. It's a $200 tub, like it's metal. The reason is when I started buying that stuff, that was like Home Depot products, and I bought what I could afford at the time. And guess what, guys? I was able to buy a 74-inch tub, a very nice quality tub for 50 bucks, a brand new one, at a builder's auction. I bought a brand new vanity, and it's really awesome looking. The vanity is like a price at $1,600. It's got a quartz top on it. It's a dual vanity type of sink. It is a French colonial style. It's pretty nice. I'm going to show this to you in upcoming videos. And does the 74 tub fit when I had the 55-inch tub in its place? Of course, it's not going to fit, but I will make it fit. And I think that's going to be an eye-opener for some of you guys, because most of the time, nobody really thinks like me. I think outside the box. And if something does not work, I don't force it in, but I make it work by changing the floor plan a little bit. So I will actually make that work. But what else that I did to this house before we actually moved in here? Guys, I knocked down every single wall on the inside, because I knew this is not a house. This does not have a second floor. It just has a roof over the head. It's just basically kind of like it's shaped kind of like this, you know, like an L shape, I guess. So I knocked down all the walls inside, and I changed the floor plan. So this room that I'm standing in now, which used to be the living room, and I still installed a regular door to try to walk in here. This will eventually be a living room, but I turned this room into pretty much a master bedroom that will not have a bathroom here, that will not have those things, because I have a small house. My house is like 900 square foot house, guys. So I was living in an apartment about 800 square foot, and I was making payments $800. This home already feels more comfortable, much nicer than the apartment I lived in, even though it's got some missing drywall here and there, you know, and stuff like that. But that's because we're doing it to our liking. We're shaping it the way we like it. And why did I knock down all the walls? I got rid of closets. I got rid of a lot of stuff. And that's because I changed the layout inside. I made my bathroom a little bit different. It's a little bit bigger. It's bigger ceiling. Now it's a lot spacier. One of the bedrooms up front, I left it a bedroom. But then what I did is I installed washer and dryer from the hall over there. And then I actually redid it again, because I kind of figured, well, I still want to have a closet in that room, and I installed it back in the hallway. But this time I stacked the washer and dryer because I got the front load, and I'm thinking I could just stack these things, and they're not going to take up that much room, and it's still going to look nice. And it does look nice the way I done it. Also, chances are I'm going to be getting rid of that water heater that's in there, and what I'm going to end up doing is I probably could somehow fit it into that area where the water heater is, and it's going to be kind of like hidden inside of the wall, and the washer and dryer is going to have like its own little door and stuff like that. And that is because thanks to one of my viewers, I actually got a tankless water heater. He sent it to me all the way from Canada. Thank you so much, Mason, for doing that. And he also said that he's going to help me out with other like appliances as well, like HVAC related. So currently we are going to have like some gas lines that's going to run up to my house and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to go too much off topic, but I just want to let you guys know I made it kind of livable. The bathroom right now does not have any tile. I tried to do like a tile job. I ended up tearing it down because I didn't like what it looked like because I'm not an expert and stuff like that. Well, here's what I ended up doing, guys. Why did I end up tearing it down? And why am I not an expert? And like, what happened? Guys, I built a tub out of cement. I made a shape of a tub. I did a good job. I made an actual tub, guys, out of cement. And what I did is I did a mosaic tile inside, and I did a beautiful job, guys. even though I'm saying not an expert. The problem that I did is I used the wrong type of adhesive. And instead of using like the cement type, I've used the one that's kind of like a glue type. And anytime water becomes in contact with it, it melts it down again. And before you know it, starts falling apart. So that's what happened to me. So by that time, since that was going to be like a redo, my wife was like, look, I'm really not fond of the tub made out of cement. And I busted it all up and got rid of it. In order to do that, I had to ruin all my tile work and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a waste. It's like live and learn, you know. And then after that, we installed a metal top. So like my wife was like quite happy with it. She's like, okay, that's the way I see it. And then just recently, like about a month ago, you know, like we bought a tub that's like for 50 bucks, a really nice tub. And Vanity at a different auction like a month later. So now we could have a vanity that we wanted, which is a dual vanity, which will fit. The vanity is 6 inches long. The space that I'll be installing it in is 64 inches long. And actually, it would have been much smaller. Because I did a reconstruction of the bathroom, it is a much bigger place now. I changed the layout of the bathroom a little bit, like not really changed it that much, but it's changed quite a bit. So the plans for this tub, instead of installing it like a vanity, toilet, and a bathtub, we're gonna do a bathtub in a corner. So that's why this bathtub will actually fit. And actually it's going to end up taking 62 inches on each side like that. So it becomes kind of like a pretty nice little corner. So I will be actually showing you a video. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be building this type of thing. I'm actually working on it right now. But I decided to do like this introduction to kind of like what I'm getting ready to do and stuff like that. So you guys could see kind of like what I'm getting ready to do. Why am I doing things the way I am? And stuff like that to try to help answer some of those questions that you're having. So what else, guys? I've been buying up a lot of stuff. I bought all the tile for this house. I got like 900 square foot of tile. Not to mention some other tile. I have different types of tile, 3 different colors, different shapes. The tile that I've been getting, I think they're like probably 36 inches long by like 4 inches wide. So it's kind of like they're long like this. And one of the colors is called like iceberg, a type of color, which is like white with some lines. It's like iceberg white or something. No, glacier white. And another one, it's called ash gray, like ash wood pretty much. So it's got like a little wood pattern. So it makes a lot of sense. If I'm going to do an area, it's going to look like it's hardwood floors made out of tile, technically. And that's pretty expensive tile. That tile is like $2 a square foot. I got it at Home Depot for 50 cents a square foot. You know, they said if they would have to mark it down anymore, it would go to a crusher pretty much. So that was like the last resort. So it's like they were either going to sell it that day or they were going to just take it to a crusher. So I literally saved it. And I'm going to be using it in my house. And I saved a lot of the windows that they had. And, you know, and as I said, guys, I've just been buying up a lot of the stuff. I've been buying the lighting, the electrical, stuff like that. And, guys, there's a whole misconception about electrical. Like, before having this place, I asked one time, an actual person that does electrical, I said, listen, how much does it cost to, you know, like do like electrical and stuff like in the house? And, you know, I said like a similar, you know, size house. And he says $5,000 just for the wire. And I'm like, what? You know, that's a lot. So I thought, man, that's a lot of money for a wire. Guys, it's not that expensive. That's why I'm like, I don't really get it. Like, why people spend the time to rip out the wire and to try to, like, take it to a scrapyard? You're not going to get any money for it. Like, as a matter of fact, you would have made more money working than tearing that stuff out and taking it to a scrapyard. Because, I mean, it doesn't weigh, the wire does not weigh anything. Like, you would need like, I don't know, like to take down power lines in order to get like any money out of it. And then even then, like, what are you gonna do? Like, that's still not enough metal. But anyways, guys, I updated the electrical here. I learned stuff off YouTube. I looked it up how to do stuff from actual electricians and stuff. I hook up my HVAC here. Everything was working. By the way, my HVAC died again. Burned out fuses and stuff like that. It's an old system, and thank God it's going to be summertime. So, I mean, I'll be updating that stuff anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But man, like, what else, guys? Like, there's just really like a lot that goes into it. And I said I'm going to talk a little bit about the money. So let me talk a little bit about the money. The very first year living in this house, I spent, and this is according to some of the paperwork that I got. I spent because I have an account with Home Depot. The very first year I spent like $14,000. I think the next year I spent like 10, and I think this year I'm probably at like $5,000. So I think in total right now that I've spent roughly $20,000 on some of the construction. But all this construction materials. I also bought tools. I bought supplies, you know, and some stuff like miscellaneous stuff that you really don't think about. You know, so technically all this installation stuff, it's not going to be costing a lot of money. Let's look at kind of like, I guess, the reality of things, okay? Because I spend all this money and I'm thinking, where does this money go? Because I make a lot of money doing what I'm doing, and I'm thinking, where does this money go? So let's talk about money a little bit. So my front door, this door was pretty expensive. It was $1,000 door. It was like 1,000 plus. It was on sale, on sale, on sale, and then I ended up getting it for pretty much 75% off at $400 for my front door because it's a custom lead work door. So I got that. I got the locks for like I spent like I think like $300 on locks because I got the electronic locks with a keypad and everything like that. You don't have to do nothing extravagant like that. I know the very first time I bought windows, that's including the 2 sliding doors, that was pretty much almost all the windows. And then later on I bought a little bit more. So the very first time I spent about $1,500 on windows. That was with 1 sliding door. So that was how many windows? That was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 10 windows. So about 10 windows plus a sliding door, $1,500. And then I bought 2 more windows for the living room, and then 2 more windows for that other. Well, basically, I call this living room, and then I have another living room, basically, technically. If I would decide to keep it like with 1 bedroom, I could have busted this wall out of the way, and it becomes like a giant open space, which is still kind of like one of those things that I still might end up doing it. Like, I still don't know. You know, it's going to make a lot more sense to turn into a bedroom because we already have a nice open space there. So basically, I bought, let's see, 5, 6 more windows on the sliding door, and I think that was like another $1,000. Okay, so you guys could do the math. With 2x4s, I bought way too many 2x4s, guys. Like 2x4s, I probably have like 300 or more 2x4s in here, which is not a huge deal considering, you know. And then in tile, I think I got about $800-900 just in tile. And let's see. Oh, the patio door. You're not gonna believe this. The patio door that I have, it's a $500 patio door with the full glass. This is one of those glass that even a hammer can't bust, supposedly. I'm not gonna test mine. Don't ask me to. But got it for $5 at an auction, brand new, because that was not a builder auction that day, and people, I guess, wasn't really thinking about buying a door. So I bought it, you know, and like, I'm just trying to look at, like, I guess the essentials. I spent a lot on the installation. I probably spent like $600 on installation. I still need to buy more of it, technically, because I got rid of a lot of it. And you might ask, like, why did I got rid of the installation? I got rid of it because it was R7, and I bought R13. And I just think R7 was not that good. Plus, at the bottom over here, this little addition was not even insulated. I bought R19 insulation for the bottom, and I used tiger teeth in order to install it. So that in itself was like $300 for that insulation, and, you know, some for the home. And I bought some drywall. I think I got about $300 of drywall. I still have some drywall that I don't have right now. And siding. I spent $1,500 on siding. Then I bought all the trim for the outside, including siding trim and pieces to put up siding in corners and whatnot. That was another $1,500. So $3,000 worth of that just sitting there. I also bought a compressor for like $700 because I needed to do stuff. And then there's a lot of other stuff that I bought. I bought you know, spray gun for the paint. I bought all kinds of stuff, guys. I mean, it's not necessary to mention it. And of course, the vanity that I bought that I'm not using technically in this house. I'm gonna get rid of it. It's a single vanity. It's pretty good, but it's I got a better one, so that's what I'm gonna be using. So that bathroom in itself, vanity, toilet, tub, $500, and now it's gonna cost me 700, well, $650 for basically a vanity in the tub that looks way better. So a lot of times it just makes sense to try to buy that stuff at an auction. So that's what I go to, is builder auctions. So everything that I mentioned, guys, this is not $20,000 worth of stuff. So a lot of stuff that I get, like it's a lot of miscellaneous stuff, guys. Like, you don't think you need it, but you need it. I mean, I even got like a wet tile saw, to cut it. Oh yeah, I bought all the cabinets. I got 25 cabinets. 25 cabinets cost me $1,100. So that is 14 upper and 11 bottom cabinets. And that is just at the recent auction. Plus I already had 4 cabinets that I bought, actually 6. I got 2 upper, 4 bottom ones. And I also bought a dishwasher thing. I bought a washer and dryer, which are pretty expensive, like $2,000 for the washer and dryer. Then I got a Bosch a dishwasher, which was like pretty expensive one, but I think I paid like $330 for it. Like what else? Like it's just a lot of the stuff. Like I got all the granite, all my granite for my kitchen, including kitchen island. I got a kitchen island, and then the rest of the cabinets, lower cabinets, granite. All that I spent like $600, for the granite. So I got a pretty good deal. But definitely, guys, there's a lot of money still that needs to be spent. To get this house back to where it needs to be. So I think this kind of does it, like when it comes to that introduction. And in the next video, I would like to talk about what am I getting ready to do next, like which state are we at right now. So what needs to be done, and we're gonna go from there. And then you guys, you pretty much will be updated on everything that I'm doing, and you'll kind of get a rough idea, stuff like that. But keep in mind, if you have already like a lot of tools and a lot of stuff like that, I mean, you really don't need that much more. But guys, also keep in mind, like for the past almost 3 years, I didn't pay any rent. So everything that I just spent, even if I spent $20,000, like I said I did, well, this is according to all the receipts from Home Depot. This is Home Depot supplies. And some stuff I bought for the exterior and all this plywood. Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that I'm forgetting. I'm not mentioning, like the lighting. It's all LED lighting that I have. It's not like it's cheap, There's a lot that goes into it. Like that's why you really need to keep your receipts, and I have them, So eventually I'm gonna sit down and calculate everything. But still, the whole point of this thing is I'm not spending rent. Sure, and I could go and buy supplies for whatever I would spend on rent or mortgage. So this is why it's like a no-brainer to just do it yourself. And so now I've been in here for 3 years. Let's say it's gonna take me 5 years to fix it up the way I want it. Okay. Well, guys, I'm gonna have a 900 square foot home that's gonna be worth actually not 125, because the way I'm gonna fix it, it's gonna be really high quality, and it's gonna have high quality materials. So I would, I would not want to sell it, but it would be worth minimum like 200,000 by the time I'm done. So that's why, like, I mean, to me, I bought a $30,000 house, and by the time I end up doing everything, it's going to be worth a lot more. A lot of people said in the comments that this house would cost me like $80,000 by the time I'm done. This is just what I have to do. So if you're doing the work yourself and you spend $80,000 to do something like this, then the house is going to worth a lot more. But they're kind of wrong, even though they're experts, they're professionals. And guess what? A lot of the experts, they say a lot of stuff to scare you. It's kind of like the scary tactics, like, oh, it's going to cost you like 80 grand. Well, maybe, I just don't see how. Okay, like I might not be somebody that does this for a living, but I don't see how it's going to cost me like this much money. It's not even going to cost me that much in permits. The permits are not that cheap. And oh yeah, and taxes, you know how much my taxes are every year? They're less than $500, guys. So another thing I do want to mention is, once I fix this property up, this will be pretty much like my first real estate investment. I may not end up living here, but I will live here while I'm trying to build up my businesses, and I'm still keeping this. I'm not going to sell this. This is going to be kind of like a place where I could come here and I could like go to my lake. I have a lake down here like 3 miles away, and I could keep some of my cars here, some of my vans. Probably gonna park them here on my property. I'm gonna put a fence around it. Sure, by the time I do like the fencing and the, you know, like the, you know, putting asphalt down or concrete stuff, you know, yeah, it's gonna cost me some money. You know, I don't disagree, you know, like when it comes to that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.